Good morning, students. Today we will be going through the chapter soil. Now, what is soil is the first question. Soil, you all have been knowing since you were small that the upper surface of the land is called as soil. Now, why we need to discuss about soil in our chapters? Because soil is one of the important natural resource. It is one of the natural resource which is basically very important for the survival or existence of life on earth. Now, without soil, you all know there is no life possible. Why? Because like all the plants, they grow on soil, and plants are the main source of energy on earth. Once the solar energy, that is the main source, it gets converted into the chemical energy in the plants, then it is being taken up by all the life present on earth, whether it is human beings or other animals or even the microorganism. They exist because of the soil. So soil is basically the most important natural resource which we need to discuss about, and it is the soil on which all the life on the earth exists. Then soil formation. Now soil formation. You might be thinking that can soil be formed? No, it cannot be formed in the laboratory, but in nature it is always being formed. And it is a very slow, we can say it as a slow and a gradual process. Gradual means like continuously it is happening and it is forming the soil. So soil formation is basically a slow and gradual process which is continuously happening in nature. So soil formation is a natural phenomena which occurs in our earth or which continuously goes on. Now, how this soil is formed? The soil is formed by a process which is called as weathering. This is the process weathering which is responsible for soil formation. Now, what is weathering? Weathering is the process by which fine soil is being formed from the rocks, either by the action of sun's heat, that is solar heat you can say, then it can be by the action of wind, it can be by the action of water. Now water can be through rain, water can be through runoff. Runoff means when water is moving through the surface of any place. Then it can also be because of sometimes when water is there, if ice formation is there in some areas, then it also leads to breakdown of rocks. So it can also be because of the action of animals. Animals, like we can say at certain places it is because of the microorganism growing excessively. So these are the factors which are responsible for the formation of soil, and the process of formation of soil particles by the breakdown of larger rock particles or rocks is called as weathering. Once weathering is being done, means we got the soil particles, we might be thinking that sometimes it is being asked that at certain place soil is very good, at certain other place soil is not that much good. So that is because of the composition of soil. Composition of soil means what is present in the soil. Now soil basically contains humus. Humus means the dead and decaying matter. Then soil contains animals. Animals are not a very big one every time. Microorganisms also can be there. Soil also contains air. Now air is in the spaces, that is pores present between the particles of soil, and this air is very important for the survival of these animals, means microorganisms also. They can easily survive when there is sufficient air. They will grow properly and will also help in conversion of the dead and decaying matter which is present in the soil and will convert it into humus. Now humus you all have already read. It is the dead and decaying matter which provides sufficient amount of nutrients to the soil. More of the humus means soil is enriched in nutrients, means it is having sufficient amount of nutrients required for the growth of the plants in it. And in the soil composition, you sometimes will notice there will be particles of different size. Varying size particles will also be present. But because these are made up of the rock only, so they all are considered as the part of soil only. So a soil which is having good amount of humus is considered as good soil because of its nutrient content. Having less amount of humus will be considered as poor soil because it is not very suitable for growth of the plants. Then we have soil profile. Now soil profile is actually the vertical section of soil. Vertical section of the soil means when you are taking soil, like I have just took a section of soil, I have just dig it to some depth, then ultimately I will notice there will be different layers. Somewhere it will be different, it has different composition, then it has different composition, then again it has different composition. That is all is called as the soil profile. Now what is present in each layer in a soil profile, that we will be reading in detail.